If you are a 5-out center, make sure you're watching this video very closely, as today I'll be debuting my endgame 5-out 6'11 center build. About a month ago, I started my channel with a 5-out build y'all really seem to like. So after obtaining more cap breakers, more knowledge of 5-out this year, I'm going to present a more fine-tuned endgame 5-out center build for y'all to use. This beast of a build will have you dominating the paint on defense, blocking all rim runs due to its high agility and ability to get in better positioning than your opponents. I mean, look at this. I'm beating a point guard to the paint right here just because of the agility. Give me that shit. Not only is this build defensively sound when it comes to blocks, this build has a high steal rating, so we getting in them lanes too. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot the best part. This build will have you jumping right over your opponent, head top. And it doesn't matter if there's 1 defender, 2 defenders, 3 defenders in the paint, we yamming on them. Hey! And if you're somebody like me who got their dot detectors on, you can throw full court steamers to your teammates for wide open threes. So without further ado, let's get into the end game 6'11", 20 cap breaker, 5-out center build you've seen me use with Black Market. So let's get into the build. Position's going to be center, height's going to be 6'11", weight's going to be 247, and wingspan's going to be max at 7'5". The 247 is just for the 91 strength. It's the cutoff to be able to get 91. Now I did in the past lab a 253 weight build, and that was strictly just for the body types because I was still going to go 91 strength. But when I did go like a lower agility and I was just lower and slower overall, it didn't really feel good in 5-out. It didn't really feel that great being that slow out the corner. I kind of felt irrelevant. So that's why I'm going 247 to have that extra speed and agility there, because it definitely helps. So let's start with the physicals. Your speed is going to be a 70 and your agility is going to be max at 63. So when labbing multiple different builds over the few months I played with Black Market, I noticed agility affected the build in a better way in terms of beating opponents to spots versus having the higher speed and sacrificing agility. Those like first 3 to 4 steps you take is your agility, and I feel like it got me to the spot faster than sacrificing agility and putting higher speed. So that's why I'm doing this here, 70 speed, 63 agility. My strength is going to be an 89. And then we're going to add 2 cap breakers to that later to get it to that 91 that we're looking for. And then your vertical is going to be maxed. If you've seen in the intro, in that rebounding clip where I kind of head top my opponent, that's definitely due to vert. So make sure you always max your vert. Rebounding, I explain this every time. You go against other 99 rebounding centers in competitive Pro-Am, maybe not the rec. Maybe not ranked Pro-Am, so you could probably get away with having less in those type of game modes, but if you're in competitive Pro-Am, you need this. This is a must as a center. You have to play your role. Interior defense is going to be a 70. Perimeter, since you're guarding the corner, I've explained this before, you only need a 40. Steal, we're going to bump this up to a 40 and cap breaker it later to get it to a 73. Get that high steal rating. That's a big difference between a 73 and a 60 steal rating this year. Unfortunately, you get way better steal animations with a 73 versus a 60. Even if you use your +2 badges on your bronze interceptor and you have a 60, the animations seem to be based behind the attribute, not the badge. And then your block, you want to bump that up to an 84. This is really all you need for block. Some people say like, why don't you go higher block? I'm swinging out the corner. If you're beating your opponent to the spot, like the 84 is perfect. You don't want to go OD on that and not have attributes in other places. Pass X gonna be a 93. So when you see me throwing full court dots and whatnot, this is what I'm rocking. You can go 95 too if you have even more caps to waste, but 93 is good for that. Ball handle is going to be a 65. So for me, I'm trying to save as many attributes as I can. You still get the Giannis kind of like snatchback, crossover with 65. It's pretty similar to the pro moves. So to waste more attributes as a center to get to the 70, I don't feel like it's necessary when you get a move very similar to that pro snatchback with Giannis at 65. and this allows me to save points in other places, so I might as well just do that move. I mean, how many times am I gonna really bust that move out a game, get a 3, and really like change the game with it? Probably not much. I mean, it might buy me 1 3, it might get me 2 3s, and yeah, it helps, but it's not like super game changing, so that's why I'm going 65. And then speed with ball, 60. If you're somebody that, for your own, conscious, you want it max just to feel like you're just a little bit faster, you could max it out to a 62 if you want, but I just go 60 on the dot. My 3-pointer, now you can go 80 if you're ass at shooting. I see a lot of people being like, oh, you can't shoot with a 78 3, you're 50 with a 78 3. Well, look at the screenshots. Like, I'm shooting 5 for 5 with a 78 3, sometimes with the button, sometimes with tempo, it doesn't matter. 78 3 is really all you need if you're a good shooter. And now if you really think about it, 2K doesn't really give centers HoffVE catch and shoot over the years. This is the easiest 2K to shoot in, so you should theoretically be able to shoot with this. You shouldn't need OD shooting. It doesn't make any sense. And then free throw, if you're ass at free throws, definitely bump that up to an 80. For this build, I have it at an 83. Make sure you're consistent at the line. You don't want to be consistent. It's unprofessional to be inconsistent at the free throw line on the game and real life. Your driving dunk is going to be a 79, and it's a 79 because we're going to use 3 cap breakers here later to get it to an 87. So from what I've also noticed from labbing different 5-out center builds, you only need an 87 driving dunk. The 89 is very unnecessary. The 93 is super unnecessary. You're just wasting points now. The 87 is like you're getting the same dunk consistency pretty much as the other ratings. So, and contacts aren't even crazy this year. That the contacts are rage bait. It's like you use the meter to go for a contact, it shrinks. You have no green window, so it's like, what contact you want me to green my queen? So I find that stuff kind of pointless. After labbing like various standing dunks for the 5-out, you don't need standing dunk really at all in 5-out. The only reason it's a 76 on this build is because I like my vertical to the max. So you lower your vertical, it affects the standing. So putting it to an 86 got my standing dunk to a 76. A lot of your dunks are going to be catch, 1-2 step dunk, which end up being a driving dunk, or any kind of movement to the rim. Because you're in 5-out and not standing underneath the rim, you don't need standing dunk at all. So it frees up a lot of attributes in other places. And as a result, yeah, you don't have post control anymore compared to the 7-footer I was using, but you're not, like we said, like how many times did you see me go into post control when you see me playing with Black Market? Like borderline none. It was very unnecessary to do. So yeah, I found being faster on the 6'11" and having more defense, being able to deploy more defense around the court, ended up being more beneficial for me. So here's a visual of what the cap breakers look like. You're going to end up using 5 on O board, 5 on D board, 5 on steal to get that 40 steal to a 73 to unlock silver interceptor. That's how you get all them nice animations. And then you're going to use 3 on driving dunk to get that 79 to an 87 to get them 2-foot animations. This is, like I said, this is all you need. You don't need the 89, you don't need the 93. And then for strength, you're going to use 2 on strength to get it to a 91. A lot of y'all were asking me why I'm going 91 strength when you see that on my build. So when labbing builds from a 60 strength to a 72 strength to a 83 strength to a 91 strength, the only strength I haven't labbed is a 95 because I haven't played too much PNR lately. I've been playing all 5-out with Black Market. But when labbing these different strengths, what I did notice is in the dead zone, this 100% matters. Don't let anybody tell you that strength doesn't matter in the dead zone. I heard that a lot to start the year. This 100% matters in the dead zone this year. When I was on an 83 strength 6'11", I was getting tossed around. One little forearm to my chest is pushing me right out the way when higher strength centers are sprinting down for that Z zone. So it's like, yeah, I have positioning, but then they're just pushing me right out the way. Now they have positioning. Now it's overweight. Or even worms. When I was on an 83 strength 611, I was just getting wormed out my mind. Like, it didn't even matter if I was fighting back to the correct side that they were going to. That shit just got overpowered. So with the 91 strength, I noticed all that kind of happens a lot less. You might notice it only a little bit when you play a 95 strength center, but it's really only a little bit. Like, you can really still fight back now. It's not just like completely throwing your build out of position anymore. Like, you actually have some sturdiness down there now and can fight back. I feel like height plays a little bit of a difference into it as well, because when I had labbed a 7-footer with 83 strength, that build doesn't really get pushed around as crazy versus the 611 with 83, and I do think it has something to do with being on a taller 7-footer build and like having just like a bigger body type and whatnot. So it wasn't as noticeable with the 7-footer when you go 83 strength, but I'm sure if you were to go like 70 or 60 strength on the footer, then you might start to notice it. So the height and the strength definitely go hand in hand when it comes to fighting in that dead zone. So don't let people tell you that strength doesn't matter down there and it's only for screens. I've labbed so many different builds, it matters. This is the badge layout I run for 5 out. So Hoff Versatile Visionary for when I throw breaks or just long inbounds passes, that pass will get there. Gold Posterizer. Hoff Set Shot. This is a must when you're in 5 out. You want to be able to knock down all your shots, whether you no dip or not. And then I got the Hoff High Flying Denier for when I'm swinging in the paint, playing any defense or running back, trying to get a block. You got your Hoff Interceptor. Now, I know it doesn't do too much when you +2 your interceptor badge, but it does give you a little bit of a boost, and I think any kind of little bit of a boost to interceptor as a corner player in Pro-Am, it just helps the team. And then you got your gold paint patroller, you got your legend break starter, and your legend dimer for when you throw in breaks. And like I said, you're not standing right underneath the rim in 5 out, so I just put my rise up down here, as it's not as important as you're a corner player now versus somebody who camps dead zone. So I've shown this before, but I'll show it again. These are my Sigs. Use none for pass style. Your dribble style has to be Giannis. I'm pretty sure you only need a 55 for the dribble style. But you won't be able to speed boost out of your moves like you see me speed boost if you don't have Giannis dribble style. I don't think any of the other ones allow you to do that, so I always have this one equipped. I mean, most of the animations you're gonna equip are Giannis, Giannis escape, Giannis crossover, Giannis step back. Those are kind of like the 3 important ones when you're gonna go 65, a 65 dribble versus a 70. And then your triple threat is Kobe, obviously, for when you want to jab, step through, and shoot. For motion style, I use Dwight Powell. I might end up changing this, I'm not sure. It does kind of feel maybe a little wonky in season 5. I'm not sure if it got patched or not with a silent patch, but I might start playing around with a few different ones. So if you come through the stream and see me using something different, just ask. And then yeah, Brianna Stewart free throw, Victor Wembanyama dribble pull up, and yeah, that's about it. Since the jump shot's been so highly requested when I stream, here's the jumper. You know, I want to show it now so y'all stop asking me. Just go watch the video. I'm showing you the jumper. I'm explaining the jumper. It's Jonathan Isaac, Beluber upper 1, Dirk upper 2. 10 ticks over push, release speed maxed, 60-40 blending. That's all it is. You only need a 74 3-point for this jumper. The 10 ticks over is for no dips. If you like to no dip with the button like me, I felt like this was a great spot to have it in for me to consistently no dip.